Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Elevate Your Soul podcast. I wanted to start off today's episode by reading a beautiful review from Connie. Listening to Arel's podcast is really inspiring. I love her topics and questions of the status quo. She challenges old beliefs and goes deep into meaning, love, and joy. I love her solos, to the point and short with things to think about, and I love her interviews. They're super good as well. I'm looking forward to new episodes every week. Thanks for speaking the truth and elevating our souls. Thank you so much for that review, Connie. And if you've been listening to this podcast for a while and have been enjoying the Elevate Your Soul podcast, it would really mean a lot to me if you could leave a 5-star rating and write a short little review on the side. It would be greatly appreciated. Today, I'm interviewing Richard Hackney all about ayahuasca. Richard is a former pro-kickboxer and pro-boxer, and now is a holistic retreat facilitator in yoga, breathwork, health, and fitness. His passion and mission in life is to holistically wake up this world and raise human consciousness so that we can see what a magical place Earth is. We touch on so many different topics around ayahuasca, such as how it dramatically changed his life, the purpose of ayahuasca, if it's addictive or not, how ayahuasca is different from taking other recreational drugs or even meditation, how to use it safely, and so much more. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode.
Hello, Arel. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. First question I always ask will be, what elevates your soul?
What elevates my soul? What elevates my soul is knowing that I'm on the path of my soul and doing my soul work rather than like doing the work of the society. So yeah, my soul is elevated by anything that feeds my soul.
Perfect. Can I ask what the purpose is of taking or using ayahuasca?
The purpose is I'm only sharing, this is very important, I'm only sharing from my experience, not everyone else's, and it's just like a very personal experience for everybody. It's never the same, it's always different. So this is just my experience. I wouldn't expect anyone to have the same. So just to ask that question again.
Yeah. No, it's good you said that. What is the purpose of using ayahuasca? So why would anyone be interested in using it in the first place? What is the reason for it?
Okay, I'll share my experience. The reason I went in is because I had a relationship breakup. And I was like, okay, well, how can I get through this relationship breakup in a more conscious way and just deal with it better? So I just went in with that question, and literally it's a window into your soul, and my words do it no justice because words can't do justice what you go through. But literally I was asking questions about what served me for the future, and I was getting replies from like I was getting replies from my consciousness.
Yes.
About what changes I need to take to move forward. Things like I was a professional fighter from a very young age, and that was often my story of personal growth, was I stood in the ring by myself and I did this. And the medicine told me it's time to let go of that story, and I'm like, I have let go of that story. I'm a family man now, and this and the other. And this is the honest truth. I had some boxing gloves around my neck, some silver gloves, which represented my journey, of getting to where I am in this beautiful country. And the medicine said, take off your gloves and let go of your story. And I'm thinking, oh, did I just hear that? So I took this chain from around my neck and I just purged. It was almost like I was releasing a whole lot of ego revolved around fighting and needing fighting as a platform to personally grow, because that's what I thought, your physical body will help you grow. And I mean, that's just one very small example of how profound the messages you get from it.
Yeah, no, I'd love to dive into that. I find that's like super fascinating. So it's almost like getting messages and tuning into your higher self, like in another realm, so to speak, in another reality. And then you can connect with that and hear that and see that clearly. Do you actually like see other things as well? Or is it only voices? Or what is that experience like for you when you're under the influence of ayahuasca?
So often very different. You can never go with an expectation of wanting to have a vision, never go an expectation of wanting answers, because each time, yeah, is very, very different. It's almost like you're given what is needed in the moment.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, which I've experienced, people around me have gone in with expectations of wanting things will get nothing, because that's their messages to stop. You need to let go of your expectations.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you can just release, and you'll get a lot of answers. A good way of explaining to you is imagine Google search into your soul and into your subconscious.
Yeah.
So you ask a question and you get an answer, but you get the true answer. And then it's pretty much only life-changing if you take action upon the message you get, because you can just keep going, getting the same answer and never make any change in your life. But if you decide to take action upon the message you've got, then your life will start, taking a turn for the better.
Wow. We have another guest on the podcast episode, by the way. You've got one or two little birds behind you or something that are just keep singing along.
Oh, can you hear the birds here?
Yeah, I can hear them in your
isn't it beautiful? Like, yeah, I mean, before we started this podcast, I just closed my eyes and just listened to the birds, and just things like being fully aware of all of your senses. I've really been fine-tuned to my senses. So just appreciating that you're alive, because you can hear the birds and the heat of the sun and the wind on your skin and the touch of everything you touch. Yeah,
that's so great.
That's another thing.
Yeah. And so for anyone listening to this right now, and they're interested in knowing more about ayahuasca or interested in taking it themselves, what would be, I know you said there to not have an expectation that it's going to give you a certain message or heal you in a certain way, or that you'll have, connect with a certain loved one or whatever. Without having that expectation, what are some examples of reasons why people want to do these ayahuasca ceremonies in the first place? Like, what can that help with?
Yeah, this is my understanding is that it really it awakens neurons in your brain, and the DMT will help you use your brain to its full capacity. So, which means you're going to be bypassing any conditioning on your mind where I can and I can't, and this old scar tissue of this hurt. Every time I want to go forward, the scar tissue in your brain stops you from moving forwards. This is seen in anxiety or depression, and all these states of mental challenges that people get.
It's the way your brain's wired, right?
Yeah, it's rewiring your brain. It's bypassing any scar tissue, any ego habits to your true self. Yeah, that's in the answer to that question.
Can I ask you, what has your journey been with ayahuasca and how it has affected and changed your life?
Well, before going into that medicine, I did a lot of background work. Leaving the UK, I did a lot of physical, personal growth, to the point of realizing that I couldn't get any further within, I guess, my soul path through the physical body. So then I went off to India and I did a lot of work in the mind, because I realized that happiness, doesn't come from the physical body anymore. Actually, the mind was where I was getting my happiness from. And then after doing years of meditation, doing 21 days in silence in India by myself, and getting
Wow.
all these tools to help calm my mind, then, because I'm forever expanding and learning more, because I know each step I take is never the end to happiness. It's never the point. It's never a goal
Yeah.
and a final destination. So like, I'm always looking for different pathways to fulfill my life, to my full potential. And then I learned about the medicine which came up, the medicine from the earth, which is all given. So I researched that lots and lots, but then I had a family and I just kind of put things on hold for a while. I focused on my family until the day was right for me to hop off to Peru and go into the jungle by myself and experience some medicine just to see what it was all about.
And how was that for you, doing that the first time?
Very nerve-wracking, because I was 8 hours deep in the jungle.
Yeah.
And there's many stories about this stuff and demons and devils and all the hype that you get. And so I was really going in blindfolded.
I know you've done it many times since your first time, and I'm asking, how has your experience with ayahuasca in general, how has that shaped your life differently from if you've never had it, if you would have never experienced it?
Shaped my life differently in revealing how I create, how I in the past would have created problems in my life, and now making much better decisions on how I'm gonna act, the decision I'm gonna make. Like, I would never have made decisions so consciously if I wasn't aware of them bad decisions not serving me. It's hard to put into words, but now I'm much more aware of the decisions I make, how it affects me, how it affects other people.
But you're more mindful.
Much more mindful, much more soulful.
Yeah. Awesome. And so how is ayahuasca as a drug different from any other recreational drugs? Like taking any other, hallucinogenic, like how is the experience of ayahuasca any different from that?
Yeah, good question, because the reason which I was so apprehensive to go and do this in the jungle, the reason I had so much fear is from the misuse of like psychedelics when I was younger. Obviously not using it for the right reasons, having bad experiences, and then being fearful of losing my mind. A lot of people will relate to this. The fear of losing control of your mind is a lot of what I hear is a lot of feedback from why people would fear to do this, losing their mind, that because it's actually just the ego losing control of the mind.
Right.
Yeah. So once I broke through that and realized that losing control of my mind was the best thing I could do.
Right.
Because then, losing control of my mind was the best thing I could do for my soul to actually take a lead in my life.
Yeah.
And once I'd realized I'd not damaged my brain from years of like social misuse and recreational drugs, I've not. And it was such a great feeling to realize that I was, my brain was back in its health. And then from then onwards, then I was using it like I was sitting for more purposeful reasons rather than sitting in fear. I was like, right, what message can I receive today, and how can I move forward in this, and am I on the right path in my life?
Yes.
And then just back to the question you asked, the reason that it's so I could say like healthy is because it's the same alkaloid that's in your body. So there's once the medicine has worn off, there's no come down, there's no like serotonin that's been used up, and you've got a depletion of that. There's no there's no come down. Okay. But because it's such a powerful experience, there's also no addiction to it, because you'll do it once and then you'll be fully satisfied for a while whilst you're in process. So there's no like wanting to do it again.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, if it's such a like powerful, uplifting, soul expanding, soul elevating experience, um, yeah, how is that not addictive for some people who may have a really addictive type of personality?
Because it shows you so much, because it's such a deep process. They always say like you get pre-flight anxiety, so you go in with your knees knocking because you're going to get shown things which you might not want to see, you might not want to hear. You like I said, that whole losing control of the mind thing. So it's a scary step to take. So there's not that need to like want to jump in and do it again. And the process afterwards is such a fine, beautiful process that you don't feel the need to want to go back. And then your decision making upon, oh, friends have got parties, or this, there's this social event coming up, and there could be the need to drink or take social drugs, and your decision making is like, oh, do I really want to deplete my serotonin? Do I really want to deal with feeling shit the next week? When I've got this natural high of my life, why would I want to go down the path of making myself, feel bad again?
Yes.
And then you might step back into an occasional, social event, which is good, and you enjoy it because you're on this high of life. But then you get the downside again. So each time over a period, and you until your decision is like, nah, this does not serve me anymore. Alcohol does not serve me.
Yeah.
Smoking does not serve me. Bad people around me, bad energy, the working environment, the music I listen to, the radio, you just fine tune your life to the point where you just rid of anything that doesn't serve you until you're just living in this well balanced, happy state, and maintainable, sustainable state, not just a quick fix.
Yeah. And then having those experiences under ayahuasca, is that what made it, I guess, more clear for you what is no longer serving you, that you needed to remove from your life, whereas before you wouldn't have realized that it was affecting you negatively?
Yeah, I believe so. And the work's so profound, I can't really say, exactly, but I just know my heart. Without this, I don't know where I would have been and what decisions I would have been making. I just know that I'm just making much more conscious decisions so that's been my goal for the past, it's been doing it for 3 years now. I've been working with this, and now I just really want to help share this beautiful gift from the earth.
Yeah, it's a tool, right? It's a tool. And I find it fascinating as well. And I've had a lot of questions myself, as you know. So for someone who's never done this before and they're wanting to try it for their first time, should they go in for example, a purpose, like how you were like, I need to get over my ex-partner, or should they go in having a question in mind? Or are you saying to go in like with a blank slate, as in like without having the expectations? Or is it good to have like some kind of reason and purpose or answer that you're wanting to find before taking ayahuasca?
Good question, because look, I've witnessed a lot of people wanting to go in to relieve trauma and depression and anxiety and things like that. What I've never really experienced. I was been blessed with like an open mind from a very young age, and experiencing death from like by myself, like the age of 8. I would delve into death. So I kind of have always lived in this state of like knowing I'm alive.
What do you mean by delved into death?
At the age of like, I remember around the age of 8, I would lie in my bed and I would close my eyes and go into a deep state of being out of my body. And I knew at that age that this body was mortal. I knew that this wasn't going to last forever. And I would scare myself into like realizing that I wasn't this body and I wasn't this mind. And I just knew that, this was just such a temporary state to be in. So then I would wake at such a young age being so excited about knowing this is temporary and I've got to make the most of it. And So I was always so nice to everybody and I like wanted to shake people like, why are you miserable? Like, this is short and we're going to be going into a space where nobody knows.
Right.
And
Interesting.
yeah, so, but I just thought that was me being a little bit crazy as a kid until I realized that is a state of just pure awareness that we're alive.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah.
I had that too when I was around 6 or 7. I'd like question my mom, like, why are we here and what's out there and where did we actually come from and where
Yeah.
are we gonna go? And she's just like, stop asking me these questions. I can't answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's right. Yeah, because I would, then I tell my children that I'm like, we're all gonna go, we're all gonna die and pass away, and I'm like, the girls, the truth is nobody knows. You're gonna hear a lot of different stories, but nobody knows. Even the best guesses are lies, like Terence McKenna would say. The best guesses are lies. Nobody knows.
Yeah. And you probably also get a
Yeah.
sense that not everything is as bad as it seems, right? Don't take life so seriously.
No, I mean, how can we take something seriously that's like temporary?
Yeah.
That's what really,
Right.
that's kind of always got me like, if we were able to live forever, then we could be serious about life. We could be serious about
Right.
our pension and our future. We could be serious about all of our belongings because we would have them forever, and we could build these empires, but it's just temporary, and it's like something that if we need to understand this at the age of 10 and 20, not the age of 60 when it's time to
Yes.
put it all into a box, and then it's got to be gone, and
Amen.
you've missed like 40 years of your life building something which is just going to be put into a box and let go of.
Yeah. Or
So
force you until you're 60 years old to realize that your brain's been wired as a early child that's hasn't been serving you your entire life, and that it is capable
yeah
to change it, right? But my question
yeah and
before, yeah, that you might have not
yeah
possibly asked was, so if someone's going into a ceremony to try ayahuasca for the
yeah
very first time, should they go in with like a question or some kind of desire, like I don't know how someone could just be like, oh, I'm just going to try it just because it sounds cool my mates are doing it. Like someone who's like, I want to try it because I want to, you know as you said, get over your ex was the first time you tried it. So should people go in the first time trying it to overcome something, or are you recommending for people just not to place any expectations or not have any expectations that they're going to get an answer to something they're wanting to get?
yeah that was the one. That's the path I wanted to go down.
Yeah.
First, so through my experience, I like, you've got to do the background work first. I would, if I could ever be of service with this medicine, if I was to go overseas and be of service, I'd put people through an initiation. Like, how much do you actually really want to delve into your soul? So first of all, I'd be like, right, let's do some physical tests. Put people through a situation which really pushes their boundaries.
Yeah.
And this could be like ice baths. This could be a temazcal, or the Mexican sweat lodge.
Right.
Yeah, something which is really going to push your boundaries and make you look inwards. And then from that, then you could go and do Cambo, which is the frog poison, which they'll put into a layer of your skin. And this is definitely the next stage of initiation which I would put people through. And then finally, like, you could go into the San Pedro, the cactus, and then you can go into the deeper ayahuasca. So it's not just like, oh, I want to go in, have a trip. It's like you've got to be doing the work beforehand.
Right.
Otherwise,
You're you're getting your body prepared basically for this experience.
Yeah, you gotta want it. If you wanna, it's not about going in and having a trip and like, whoa, this is like out of it, and
Right.
so you'll miss the point. Then you
Right.
gotta wanna. You don't have to go into solve problems. You can go into like, well, please, I want to just see how much more magic there is to this life than I'm shown on the TV and I hear on the radio.
Yes.
What I don't want to miss anything in this life. I want to fulfill it to the best of my possibilities without being told what to do.
Yeah.
So that's what if I was to go and just do it without doing all the groundwork, I'd be like, right, can I just just show me a little bit more magic to life. Just open my mind a little bit more.
Yes. Show me some things that I'm unaware of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And that was interesting though before how you said like you test their bodies and their boundaries, and then the frog. Can you talk about the other medicines before ayahuasca that you'd recommend?
I definitely recommend Cambo for initiation.
Okay, and what is that?
So that's um the the frog, which is yeah found in the jungle. I can't remember which type of frog.
Okay.
And they get the poison. They extract the poison from the frog, which is done
Yes.
gently, and they do it in a proper way, so the frog never gets hurt. And then they'll they'll burn your skin, not right through, but just so it's kind of skin deep. And then they'll put the cambo, the poison, into your skin.
Yes.
And then because it's a poison, your body will want to reject it.
Yeah.
And then what you get is this deep sense of your body will just purge and want to release. And on a spiritual level, there's a lot more than which I can explain. There's a lot more masters out there that can explain it. But yeah, you purge out a lot of physical pain, and you get a lot of insight from it. But also on a health benefit, it cleans out your whole lymphatic system. And this can this has a deep healing within your body.
So it's
So
basically
I've done
like
this
a massive purge of toxins and things kind of under
massive
the skin.
purge.
I see.
Yeah, massive purge of toxins. Yeah.
And then the
Um,
next medicine after that one you'd recommend was
yeah, and not in any order. Just
okay.
recommend like for the experience of life, because what I always remember my father saying when I was young. Oh, people take drugs, they're escaping this life,
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's not about it's not about that. It's not about taking drugs to escape life. It's taking drugs to experience life.
Okay.
To bypass the conditioning, to bypass the rules which we've been taught by other men, and to fully experience our birthright to do whatever we want with our lives.
Yep.
And you can take these medicinal cactuses, these San Pedros, and you can be walking around on a beautiful coastal walk and really experience all of your senses to your full potential.
Mhm.
And you everything from the trees to the smells, everything you hear, everything is heightened, and you get that sense of like, I am actually alive, and this is temporary, and I am fulfilling my experience here because I am making the most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I say, this is just my experience. This is what I go through
Yes,
personally,
of
because
course, of course.
because I'm always coming from a place of realization of death. So if I fully understand that I'm going to die, then if I take a medicine which is going to heighten my sensual experiences, I'm like, wow, I'm in a place of just pure bliss, because like I am alive, and I'm fully alive in this
I
moment,
realize exactly.
because these medicines are actually heightening my experience.
Yes. And
And
how,
again, there's no come down, because it's the same alkaloid as your body.
right, right. Okay, so the main difference from any other recreational drug that might give you that same feeling of high for that moment is that it doesn't have a come down. And then you're saying it also connects you to your higher self, your consciousness, rather than a recreational drug just, I don't really know what it does, but chemically altering your brain cells or killing some perhaps as well at the same time.
Yeah. So when I look back at my experiences, like from a very young age, very young, at the age of 13, you're introduced to a lot of drugs in the UK, acid, and all these things, and you want to do them because you actually want connection with your friends. That
Yeah.
is the ultimate. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
Because you get a connection with your friends, and your spirits are open, and you're connecting, and your hearts are open, and you get this great sense of friendship and love. And then unfortunately, because you've used up all your serotonin, and chemically imbalance your brain. That's why, like, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you feel like crap. You actually don't want to talk to your friends anymore because you're not in a good mood.
Yeah.
And then Friday comes along and you're like, oh, I want that connection with my friends again. So you go out and you party, and it's just like people do all throughout their lives, chasing this connection with people. They
Yeah.
have a wine, they have the spirit of the wine in a
Yeah.
couple of glasses does connect people,
Yeah.
because the spirit will allow you, the spirit in the alcohol will allow you to bypass um the part of your mind which is always trying to solve problems. It will bypass that and just be in the moment, so you connect and you have a nice chat, and all
Yeah.
your problems are pushed under the carpet until the next day
Yeah.
when you need that wine again, because that's, you use that as your connection.
Yeah. Or that escape, as you said before, how you're using drugs to escape. It's almost like you're escaping your problems rather than looking at them and solving them, finding ways to solve them.
Absolutely good, absolutely perfect what you just said. Yeah, you push them under the carpet rather than take a look at them. How can I, improve this, or what's causing these problems? You go around them, which is never gonna yeah, create a
Never
different
ending linear.
life.
Exactly.
uh,
And
yeah.
would you relate ayahuasca with meditation then? Because you say it's all about experiencing life to the fullest and making you more conscious and more mindful and more aware. Um, how is that different from meditation? Say someone who's anti drugs.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm in a good place to be able to share my opinion on this, because I've done a lot of. I went to India, did those 21 days, and I've
Yeah.
sat for hours. I've sat for hours up and end on my bum and got my knees uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and I've been stared at by beady-eyed people who are gurus, who you think they're in a better place than you and they know more than you, when nobody knows any more than the person who wants to know. Nobody knows any more than being alive with your six senses. Anyway, so back to your question. I got, in one night a sit in medicine, I got 10 years of meditation resolved in one night. That's my experience. And then I believe meditation is just bringing you into the present moment. Now, if you can work on yourself enough that you're in the present moment as often as you can be, then
Yeah.
you don't need to sit. Look, this is
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Go for it. Go
Some
for it.
people, some people might get a lot from meditation, but I've got myself to the place where if I can walk down my garden and be present with all of my senses, that is my meditation. I can hear the birds, I can feel the breeze, I can feel the heat of the sun, I can have love for my children. If I can walk down the garden and do that, that is me being present in the moment. If I'm walking down the garden worrying about the future, worrying about the past,
Yeah.
then I need to go and sit and meditate.
Yes.
But if I can bypass all those concerns, then that is me in meditation in my daily life.
Mm.
That's kind of something that I really want to share with people.
No, I agree with
And
you fully. I agree with you fully. Like
yeah,
meditation is a tool to help bring you somewhere, help get you in the present in the present moment, more mindful, more grateful, to
yeah,
have more gratitude. And if you can find yourself in that space like so often day to day, then you don't need to take that time from your day to try to channel and put yourself back in that space when you're already in that space.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah. And it's funny, but when I talk, I always think about critics and people that are going to want to be pessimistic about what you say. So like I
You'll
say,
always
this
have
is a
haters though.
pure,
That's the thing. You'll always have people disagreeing with you, like no matter what you say,
yeah,
no matter how true it is. You'll always have people
yeah,
disagree or
yeah,
throw hate.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So if anyone who does listen to this is true to myself.
Yeah.
This is true to my experience, and I believe the greatest meditation you can be in is to be aware of your six senses throughout the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if you can view the world from a place of death and realize you're alive, then problems will just dissolve and fade away.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, until people have a life risk situation or a near death experience,
Mm.
then they won't understand how, the beauty of life. So the problems will just grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more you work with medicine and on yourself, the more you hear people's problems, and you just think it's really just not a problem.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
true.
I feel exhausted for people. I feel tired for what they focus on throughout the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And last question I have for you on ayahuasca is, how can people use it safely?
Oh, you've got to find yourself a good shaman with the right intent. I know there's going to be a lot of people now it's getting more mainstream.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of like people claiming to be a shaman. But I do really want to in the future provide a service where we can take people and go and experience these journeys safely.
Yeah, for sure.
But otherwise, I have to mention the holotropic breathwork is something that we do, which is very, very powerful tool. This can get you to places beyond what you could understand with the breath. So that's something that we do, and that helps bypass. It puts a bridge between your conscious and your subconscious mind, and the breathwork will help release any emotions that are stored and stuck in your body. And this is through the breath. This is like one of the most powerful tools. I've got friends traveling the world at the moment doing these workshops and just changing people's lives just through the breath.
Wow.
So if anyone did want any advice, they could contact, and I would advise on breath work and this beautiful Kambo as an initiation, and maybe coming in and doing some physical work and the sweat lodges. This is all things that I do like to organize and have a lot of I've got a big role in doing stuff like that. So
Yeah, for
yeah, I
sure.
reckon this would be the best steps to take.
For sure. Would you want people to get in contact with you if they're listening to this and they want to get in touch with you about that?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how can they reach you?
I don't know, I mean, because this is like I've been doing this for a lot of years now, and it's always been taking me courage to want to share what I've experienced, and like you've helped nudge me into sharing. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a shame to take all this knowledge and just not share it. And
Yeah.
now I've got 2 daughters. Like, yeah, that's my main mission is to create a platform for them,
Yeah.
so they haven't got to spend 20 years trying to find one like I did.
Exactly.
And so yeah, I've got to thank you for pushing me into doing this, giving me a nudge. But that for me is not just you yourself, but the universe saying, okay, come on, this is time now. You've got some skills to share. You've got a passion to help people.
Yeah.
So I mean, the question is, how do people find me? I guess on my Facebook page, really, and not for the ayahuasca,
Hmm.
but for methods towards it. Maybe I could give
Or any
direction
advice,
towards
or
where,
any more advice that they want to have about it,
yeah,
or
advice on
where to
how,
go in South America and things like that.
yeah, yeah, how
Yeah.
to step into Peru. I get some great contacts out there and stuff. Hopefully one day, like the cannabis, these natural products from the earth will be legal.
Exactly. Yeah.
We drive around seeing advertisements for alcohol, which is great. Family abuse, deaths in cars. We've got endless problems from alcohol, which is like advertised everywhere. But if
Yeah.
we bring a non-addictive plant into the world, then that then becomes illegal. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a crazy situation we live in,
Well,
but
it might not be
it's
for long.
evolving.
Things can change. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, exactly. I mean, look how it's evolving. I mean, you're a young lady now already in this awareness, and I mean, when I was your age, there was none of this awareness. It was just drink and take drugs to, you know, to communicate
Escape.
and and to escape the 9 to 5. But now look at where we're at. I mean, in another 20 years,
Yeah.
who knows?
Exactly.
Who
Yeah.
knows? And
Excited.
we can't force the evolution, but it is, for me, it's very frustrating to see all these problems derived from alcohol, but we're not allowed to share things which is going to help people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to advise people on sweat lodges and the Cambo medicine and ice baths and getting your body into physical shape.
Yep. Yep. Perfect. Thank you so much. And breath work.
Oh, sorry, and the breathwork, and that's right. I'm gonna be starting up breathwork classes, which is definitely.
And what is your breath work called? Is it just breath work classes, or did you say there was a certain kind?
Oh, like I say, like people name things, but there is this holotropic, then there's the Wim Hof, and so I kind of like just do a mix of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just the breath reset, and that it just resets you. It will reset you and get you ready for the life ahead of you.
All right. Perfect. I'll have to try one of your classes one time.
Cool. Thank you so much for helping me get the word out there.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for helping me get the word out there as well. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
It's very hard to put something so profound, so life-changing, profound into words.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. I'll let you get on with your afternoon and get back to your beautiful gardening.
Thanks, darling. You have a beautiful day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
If you like this episode and are enjoying the Elevate Your Soul podcast, please help support me by sharing it with someone you know who could benefit from this episode or from this podcast by copying and pasting the link or simply sending them a screenshot. I would also love for you to write me a review on whatever app you're listening to this on. It really helps get this information out there. And if you'd like to support the podcast even more by helping me help you to create more ad-free content with incredible guests for free that help inspire people and elevate souls all around the world, please support me through my Patreon site at patreon.com/elevateyoursoul. You can be a part of my support network by making a small monthly donation to help me get the resources I need and dedicate my time to research and video and audio content. Or contribute a little more to also help guide the direction of the podcast by requesting episode topics or guests to interview. And if you can contribute even more, you will have all of the above plus a monthly one-on-one life coaching call with me so that I can help you directly. That's patreon.com, patreon.com/elevateyoursoul. Any support goes from me back to all of you and is greatly appreciated.